adversities brought by the pandemic. Learning itself is a continuous journey, and it is something that shouldn't be hindered. We move as one in molding our learners in this new learning environment. We shine.
And Oxes, together we can! Dali na!
In Oroqueta City Central Elementary School, we promote quality teaching and provide safe and healthy learning environment. Our school is comprised of committed, dedicated, and passionate teachers. Welcome to the home that nurtures talents, develops skills, and produces excellent achievers. Welcome to Oroqueta City Central Elementary School. Oroqueta City Central Elementary School adopted enhanced COVID-19 protocols to be observed by all personnel and visitors. Here in Oxus, we ensure that we have adequate supply of water and soap at every doorstep in each classrooms. Hand sanitizers and rubbing alcohol can be seen at the school entrance and the offices. Personnel and visitors will undergo hand washing and temperature check before allowing entry to the school and classroom. OXIS also adopted the social distancing measures in light of COVID-19. This is one of the best practices of OXIS to ensure the safety of everyone during this pandemic. OXIS teachers stay true to our core values and commitment, and we uphold by heart, and we continue to translate it in actions. So we work together for the preparations of the learning resources for the school year 2020-2021. In OXIS, we offer blended and online, TV-based instruction, radio-based instruction, and modular learning modalities. Our dry runs manifest that these modes of learning are the most convenient and effective way to pursue learning continuity. We are one in this pandemic. We give nothing but best of our capabilities.
Unang sa tanan, isip usa ka ginikanan, magpasalamat ko to our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ, mao nagyahan nato sa tanan. Nagpasalamat pud ko sa mga DepEd, sila naghatag idea para sa mga estudyante, like module. Makatabang ni sa mga bata to exercise their knowledge and ability, and also the parents can help teach their children and follow up their lessons. Bisan wala sila klase or face-to-face, makakatun sila gihapon sa mga academic subject. Salamat sa mga programa sa DepEd nga maayong makaguide sa atong mga anak. Bisan pa kagulian karon nga atong giatubang karon panahona sa COVID-19. Kami nakasukot sa mga ginikanan o pagtambayon sa mga taga-DepEd. Salamat sa taga-DepEd and more power to your program. Thank you.
Eskwela ko tungod sa online class. Salamat ko na teacher kay gipagiya ko niya sa akong pagskwela.
May buntag, isip inyong president sa Oroqueta City Central Elementary School, uban sa PT Board, uban sa mga stakeholders, meaning tuig 2019-2020, kami kusganon na nagsuporta sa umaabot nga bukas ting klase karong Oktubre 5, kauban sa mga maestra. Kami usab nanginaot usab sa inyong suporta sa PTA aron kini magmalampuson ug mabungahon.
Everyone's mental health must be maintained. We reach out to our learners, parents, teachers, and community linkages to help out in sustaining positive environment.
Dili kayo kailangan ng severe, dili kayo kailangan ng tampal siguro, then of course, pwede tayo makapagpagala. Okay.
Here in Oxus, we don't want to compromise your health. Your safety is our priority. Because we care, we prepare, we share.
Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to Aldrin Murphy Bikwek,
All these preparations wouldn't have been possible without the strong collaborations of these empowered women leading Oxus to what it has become today.
Tungod kay diri sa CD1, ang edukasyon sigurado kayong mapadayon nga luwas ug sayon.
Encircled with optimism and determination, we lift the banner high as we find alternatives to the adversities brought by the pandemic. Learning itself is a continuous journey, and it is something that shouldn't be hindered. We move as one in molding our learners in this new learning environment. We shine as one despite our situation, where a sense of hope radiates, spilling light unsparingly. Welcome to the division launching of Oroqueta City for school year 2020-2021. To start with, let us all rise for the singing of the Pambansang Awit and invocation to be led by the Oxus Voices with SPED learners.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Sa
The Division of Oroqueta City continues to expand and increase its efforts in delivering quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating basic education in the service of the Filipino people. Today, let's take a closer look at the Region 10 Oplan Balik Eskwela 2020 and the profile of Oroqueta City Division as we bring to you their promotional video for school year 2020-2021.
Ito ang Brigada Eskwela at Oplan Balik Eskwela ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon sa Ambihan ng Mindanao. Kasama ang buong puwersa ng DepEd Normid sa pamumuno ng aming Direktor Panrehiyon Arturo Bayocot, Pangalawang Direktor Panrehiyon Victor De Grasso Jr., tagapamahala ng mga dibisyon, mga guro at magulang, mga lokal na pamahalaan at pribadong organisasyon, media at iba pang mga kasapi sa pagpapatupad ng mga programa ng DepEd. Kaming lahat ay handang-handa na sa pagbubukas ng pasukan ngayong Oktubre. Samahan po natin ang ating mga mag-aaral, guro at magulang sa pagbubukas ng klase at sabay-sabay nating labanan ang COVID-19 sa pamamagitan ng angkop na proteksyon, pag-ibayuhin ang ating mga programa para sa patuloy na edukasyon at harapin ang bawat hamon sa pamamagitan ng mabisang aksyon. Muli, kasama ang Kagawaran ng Edukasyon sa Ambihan ng Mindanao, ipagpatuloy natin ang edukasyon dahil laban natin ito ka-DepEd para sa bata at para sa bansa. Kaya natin ito, lakasan ng iyong loob sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano katutubo, isang hanggaring san patubo, ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo. Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na
ang DepEd Oroqueta City kanunay madasigon sa pagpasayon o pagpadayon sa dekalidad ng edukasyon, pinaagi sa pagtimbayayungay, ubos sa liderato sa atong Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Rinaldo E. Manuel Jr., Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Roberto D. Napiri Jr., CID Chief Francis J. Buak, SGD Chief Perlinita L. Godobe, uban sa 1,026 ka teaching and non-teaching personnel. Ang atong 44 kaskwilahan sa elementarya ug 15 kaskwilahan sa sekundarya anda mo serbisyo sa tibuok Division of Oroqueta City tungod og alam sa atong kabataan. Abante, atraka, kay sa Oroqueta, bata ang bida.
Unsa digid naa sa October 5?
Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay?
Manong kinahanglan manggid magklase karong panahon na?
Auntie, lantaw imong mga bata o, kana sila. Aduna usab sila'y pangandoy sa kinabuhi. Kaming mga kabataan, nagdamgo ug kaayo. Dili lang para sa among kaugalingon, kundili apil na sa among mga ginikanan. Manghinaot kami nga mapadayon ang pagkabot sa among mga damgo pinaagi sa tabang sa DepEd.
Safe ba ka kung magklase karon?
Ang DepEd o Rakyata, istriktong nagpatuman sa mga health protocols para luwas ug safe ang tanang mga lakang lakip na ang pagpaabot sa lahi-lahi nga modalities.
Aktibo pa pagka na. Gadungag-dungag naman na sa mong trabahoon karon eh.
Gibuhat ang tanang pagpangandam sa atong mga teachers, school heads, division personnel lakip na sa regional ug national offices para sa sayon ug dekalidad nga edukasyon. Pinaagi sa lahi-lahi nga mga modalities.
Gmail account.
Online synchronous learning. Gamit ang lahi-lahi nga platforms connected sa internet. Pinaagi niini, mapadayon ang among klase nga interactive ug participative. Naausab tay printed modules gikan sa self-learning activities, exercises ug assessment giprinta kini aron ipanghatod sa lahi-lahi nga drop-off places aron makuha sa parent o guardian para magamit namong mga kabataan. Naapoy gitawag og TVBI o RBI o TV-based and radio-based instruction gamit ang teknolohiya sa TV o radyo. Ipaabot diri ka namong mga kabataan ang creative and fun type of learning aron mapadayon ang among edukasyon. Ang mga lakang 100% suportado kini sa mga stakeholders. Ilabi na sa atong halangdong City Mayor Lemuel Merrick Acosta, Vice Mayor George T. Almonte, Education Committee Chairman Donna R. Iyog, uban pang opisyalis hangtod sa mga punong barangay, lakip na usab ang atong Governor Honorable Philip Titan, Vice Governor Aurora Virginia M. Almonte, Congressman Diego T. ug mga board members.
Ano di ay na no? May man din nga programa. Sige, akong ipa-enroll o eskwelahon ako mga bata para sa ilang kaugmaon.
Abante! At traka! Kay sa Oroquieta, kaming mga bata ang bida.
A young man full of vision and dynamism will give us his welcome message. Please welcome our Public Schools District Supervisor and Officer in Charge of the Office of the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Roberto D. Napere Jr.
My warmest greetings of peace and love to our education partners, Honorable Congressman Diego C. T., Honorable Governor Philip T. Tan, Honorable Vice Governor Aurora Virginia M. Almonte, Provincial Board Members, Honorable City Mayor Lemuel Merrick M. Acosta, City Vice Mayor Attorney George T. Almonte, City Councilors, punong barangays, DepEd officials with our beloved DepEd Secretary Leonor M. Briones, DepEd Undersecretaries, DepEd Region 10 Regional Director Dr. Arturo B. Bayocot, Assistant Regional Director Dr. Victor G. De Gracia Jr., DepEd Oroquieta City Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Rinaldo E. Manuel Jr., division personnel, fellow teachers, parents, learners, and other stakeholders. It is with full conviction to express that our Team Bayayong spirit right here in the City of Good Life, Oroquieta City, had contributed immensely in the realization of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Hence we say, kami sa DepEd Oroquieta, andam na sa eskwela. 3 days from now, we'll be welcoming the official first day of classes for school year 2020-2021. Certainly, our unconditional commitment and selfless dedication have fueled us to continuously serve our learners through the distance learning delivery modalities that we have prepared for them, mindful of the safety and health protocols. Our teachers have been equipped, resources have been provided, and we left no stones unturned in this new setup of learning delivery. With the ardent support from our various education stakeholders, national, provincial, and local officials, we can be able to continue to fight the challenges brought about by the pandemic. Today, we'll witness the one-of-a-kind preparation of DepEd Oroquieta City Division as we signal the world that we are definitely ready for the opening of the new school year through the messages of support from our top officials and education leaders, actual updates from the field, and special message straight from the heart of our DepEd Secretary, Leonor M. Briones. Hence, we welcome everyone in this half-day airing of DepEd Oroquieta City Division's kickoff for the opening of school year 2020-2021. Sa DepEd Oroquieta, ikaw, bata ang bida, mayong adlaw kanatong tanan.
Beyond the corners of the four-walled classroom, his passion for education has marked a great impact on the lives of the learners in reaching their full potential, to the parents and to the community. Let's welcome Honorable City Mayor Lemuel Merrick M. Acosta in his message of support.
God is good all the time. Mayong adlaw, Oroquieta. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome back all our students and teachers sa school year 2020 and 2021 dinhi sa ato ang Pinanggang Dakbayan. Tumong og tinguha sa atong kagamhanang lokal ug sa atong Oroquieta Schools Division under the Department of Education nga muhatag lang gyud gihapon og dekalidad nga edukasyon ug maayong serbisyo sa atong mga kabataan dinhi sa ato ang Pinanggang Dakbayan in spite of the pandemic, no? Mo nang naatay kalain-lain nga modalities gi-offer sa ato ang mga kliyente, sa ato ang mga estudyante, sa kalain-lain natong mga kabarangayan dinhi sa ato ang Pinanggang Dakbayan. In spite of the tingnon natong abnormalities that's going on at the moment, kining atong gitawag og new normal, we are still hoping that our students, that our teachers, that our parents will be able to cope up sa demands sa new normal nato nga panginabuhi karong panahon na. Mao nang I am excited in a sense that we are in a very exciting time of our lives, no? Kay maski tuod daghang hagit, daghang kakuwangon, ug daghang ingnon nato mahitabong confusion sa opening sa classes nato come October 5. As long as we work together, as long as we hold on together, like the human evolution, we will always survive. Mao nang muhangyo ko sa tanan, no, dinhi sa atong Pinanggang Dakbayan, especially to our parents, to teach our children the more, to trust sa ato ang makagagahom nga Ginoo, so that we will have a brighter Oroquieta and a better tomorrow for our young and for Oroquieta. Daghang salamat and God bless us all.
Next, he is a God-centered man where his heart reflects the strategic policies, planning and programming for quality education in Misamis Occidental. Ladies and gentlemen, our hardworking governor, Honorable Governor Philip T. Tan.
Maayong adlaw sa tanan. In this difficult time of crisis, we have shown our resiliency in accepting the challenges ahead. Again, congratulations to DepEd for showing your innovativeness and creativity in reaching out to our students. Good luck sa inyong tanan, and to all the students, you are the luckiest one because in spite of all these things, you are still well loved by the government by showing our compassion of how to reach all of you. And number two, you're very lucky. Kay kaning atong gihimo karon wala gi mahagbong ani basta lang mo cooperate. Daghang salamat ug maayong adlaw niyong tanan. Good luck.
Next, a strong pillar in transformative leadership and collaborative governance. He has proven genuine in his administrative career and goals in life as a dynamic servant leader. Honorable Congressman Diego Nonoy C.T.
Reset, rebound, recover. This is our theme in our 2021 national budget. Each one of us, each national government agencies have its rules and mission to undertake in solving the crisis that we are now facing and preparing ourselves in the new normal ahead. I am very confident that in our level, you, DepEd Oroqueta City Division was able to adjust and came up with the most effective and workable ways in sharing to our students a different yet quality education. Since the pandemic started, our Congress passed new laws such as Bayanihan to Heal as One, Bayanihan to Recover as One, because we believe that we cannot win this crisis alone, but we need the helping hand of each and everyone. As your district representative, I am now expressing to you, DepEd Oroqueta City Division, my all-out support with assurance and commitment of providing the necessary available resources, both official and personal, in my personal capacity. And I am now wishing you all, especially to our Division Superintendent Reynaldo Manuel Jr., and to all the members of the DepEd Oroqueta City Division family, the best of luck in your very challenging endeavor, and join me in seeking the guidance and protection of our Lord Almighty. Good luck and God bless us all. Thank you.
The City of Good Life continues to grow richly with its learning resources, providing safe and quality education for all. At this juncture, let us listen to a series of virtual messages from Undersecretary Nempomosemo A. Malululan, Chief of Staff of the Office of the Secretary, Undersecretary Annalyn M. Sevilla, Finance Service, Undersecretary Diosdado M. San Antonio, Curriculum and Instruction, Undersecretary Jesus L. R. Mateo, Planning Service, Bureau of Human Resource and Organizational Development, Undersecretary Josephine G. Maribojo, Legal Service and Sites Titling Office, Undersecretary Toncito M.C. Omale, Legislative Affairs, Undersecretary Rev. C. A. Escobedo, Palarong Pambansa Secretariat, Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pasqua, Administrative Service.
Maayong buntag kaninyong tanan. For the past 7 months, the entire Department of Education has been working double time to ensure that learning shall continue for our learners. Through the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or BELCP, the whole of DepEd has worked together to make sure our learners will have access to learning opportunities in these volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous times. On behalf of Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones and the whole Central Office, we commend and recognize your efforts in creating systems of learning across localized and contextualized modalities. You have shown ingenuity in your efforts to adapt to the needs and capacities of your school communities. Our officials, our teachers, our school leaders and personnel have been on top of things, undertaking preparations and forging partnerships with LGUs and other stakeholders to create opportunities for equitable and safe access to learning resources. Parents and guardians have shown that they are truly our partners in supporting the education of the next generation. The Filipino spirit of bayanihan has been very evident in these trying times. Ang pagbubukas ng school year 2020-2021 ay tagumpay nating lahat. It has not been easy, it will not be easy, but it will all be worth it. As Region 10 kicks off the start of classes, remember that all the work you have put in is for the future of our children and our country. Salamat sa mga bayaning guro at pamunuan ng DepEd sa ating mga rehiyon, dibisyon at mga paaralan. Sama-sama tayo sa ligtas na pagsulong ng edukalidad. Handang isip, handang bukas.
Maayong adlaw, DepEd Normin. Any engagement with you, such as this simultaneous free launching of the opening of the school year 2020-2021 in all of the 14 school division offices of Region 10, is always a privilege and an opportunity. It is a privilege because I will be speaking before our DepEd family in Northern Mindanao and to our valued learners, parents, partners from both government and non-government organizations, the media, and other stakeholders. It is likewise an opportunity to express our sincere gratefulness to all of you for your overwhelming cooperation and support all these years, which have been greatly contributed to the immense successes of DepEd Normin in particular and the department at large. This is also an opportunity for us in the executive department to assure everyone of the department's genuine efforts to deliver its mandates. Especially in these times of the COVID-19 pandemic, the department has been closely coordinating with the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or the IATF-EID, and of course with the Department of Health. This is to ensure that all our initiatives and activities are in accordance with the prescribed health and safety protocols. #Angkop na proteksyon. Under the competent leadership of our Honorable Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones, the department is determined to pursue the opening of the school year 2020-2021 amidst the perceived threats of the pandemic. As what the good secretary has been consistently saying, education must continue even in times of crisis, whether it may be a calamity, disaster, emergency, quarantine, or even war. This is simply because education cannot wait, especially for our dear learners whose future we have to prepare for and to ensure. This is the #Patuloy na Edukasyon. To this day, the COVID-19 pandemic has continuously haunted our operations. When this pandemic will end is something we cannot tell. This scenario, therefore, reminds us that anything can happen and that we have to be vigilant in addressing current, emerging, and possible problems. And as one DepEd or one Department of Education, we are one together in this. Just like our Sulong Edukadad advocacy, we will accept all the challenges that will come along the way. We move forward and continue quality education for our learners. And this is our #Mabisang Aksyon. DepEd Normin, you are in good hands with our Regional Director Art Bayocot and ARD Victor De Gracia as your leaders. Along with your equally competent superintendents, you will surely continue to radiate your light and show the way for the learners. Finally, please join us on October 5 for the national kickoff of the school year 2020-2021. Let me also take this chance to greet our teachers a happy World Teachers Day and an advanced Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Congratulations again, RD Art Bayokot, ARD de Gracia, and to all our SDS in the Northern Mindanao. Ingat kayo palagi at mabuhay kayong lahat.
I join the DepEd Region 10 officials, ably headed by RD Art Bayokot, and my fellow leaders for learning, the 14 schools division superintendents, in welcoming our learners back to school. I know COVID-19 time has given us lots of challenges so that we can make sure that the learners, the youngsters we have committed to serve, to nurture into becoming productive Filipinos should be done without fail. We all have exerted a lot of effort in designing a contextualized learning continuity plan that is relevant to the needs of every learner. My fellow teachers, as we carry on with our new roles as facilitators of learning for this COVID-19 times, I know your high level of professionalism and commitment will guide you and drive you to give your best. To my fellow leaders for learning, superintendents, principals, supervisors, I know our job is also as challenged as the jobs of the other stakeholders of education. But your commitment, your innovativeness, your passion for excellence will make sure that in this effort, we will succeed. To the parents of the learners, our new roles also require that we will be more engaged in the academic lives of our children. Be assured that when a parent provides support to the child learns best. And our learners, as I said, welcome back. We will take care of you. We will make sure you are ready so that you can achieve the kind of future you all have dreamed of. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. God bless.
Maayong buntag sa tanan sa Region 10. Salamat kaayo for the invitation to be part of the regional simultaneous pre-launching activities. I take this as an opportunity to virtually reach out to the men and women of Region 10 as well as to the family, DepEd family and stakeholder. Alam nyo, itong mga ginagawa natin can be compared to a marathon race. In the US, one of the famous annual marathon races is the Boston Marathon that is held during September this month. The route of this marathon covers 26 miles or 42 kilometers, composed of sometimes hilly and sometimes flat terrain. The most challenging stretch of the race takes place in a series of 4 hills called Newton Hills. This is the last stretch before the racers reach the finish line. The last and steepest of the 4 hills is the legendary Heartbreak Hill, where many races have been won and lost. So close to the finish line already, but after running for several miles, every inch of incline can feel like a mountain to a tired runner's legs. I'd like to say that we are at the Heartbreak Hill in our race towards the opening of classes on Monday, October 5. That's about a week from now. Participating in series of webinars, online trainings, online meetings, online consultation has really been challenging as well as exhausting. Add to that are the reports that need to be prepared and submitted to our chiefs, to our supervisors, superintendents, stakeholders, even regional directors. For that, thank you, and I commend you for the hard work and dedication to serve. Let us thank our partners and stakeholders in our communities for supporting and accompanying us in this race. But let us not lose sight of what this race is for, of our goal at the finish line, and that is to ensure that education and learning continues amidst all of these challenges, amidst this pandemic. Like what the Secretary Liling always mentioned, education cannot wait. Let us also be reminded that after reaching the finish line to the school opening, another marathon is bound to begin for all of us. And you know what? This is hurdling the challenge of delivering accessible and quality education through various modalities and approaches under the new normal. Remember that the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan is anchored on the sulong Edukalidad. Before I end, let me greet in advance our teachers a happy World Teachers Day. Congratulations to all. Please, I beg of you, stay healthy, protect yourself, protect others. So please, observe safety protocols and wear your masks. God bless all of you.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Sa mahalagang araw ng pagbubukas ng klase sa mga paaralan, binibigyang pugay po natin ang ating mga guro at ibang kawani ng DepEd, mga magulang, mga katuwang natin sa pag-aaral ng mga bata, kabilang na ang local governments, national government agencies, mga international at local organizations, at higit sa lahat, ang mga bata at mag-aaral na magiting na yinayakap ang school year 2020-2021. Karapat-dapat lamang po na sa gitna ng COVID-19 pandemic, patuloy po nating hubugin ang ating kabataan sapagkat iyan ay kanilang karapatan. Itinuturo po sa atin ng COVID-19 pandemic kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng pagiging isang komunidad o pamayanan. Kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng pagkakaugnay-ugnay natin sa isa't isa. Dahil malinaw po na sa ating laban sa COVID-19, hindi po tayo ligtas hanggang ligtas ang lahat. Iyan po mismong komunidad na iyan ang nasa likod ng isang matagumpay na Learning Continuity Plan na magsisigurong patuloy na matatamasa ng mga bata ang kanilang karapatan sa pag-aaral habang itinataguyod ang karapatan ng lahat sa kalusugan. Pinasasalamatan po ng DepEd ang lahat ng mga kasama, katulong at katuwang natin sa pagpapatupad ng dekalidad at ligtas na edukasyon. Tunay nga ang ibig sabihin ng LCP ay hindi lamang Learning Continuity Plan, kundi Learning Community Plan. At ngayon, binibigyang buhay na natin ang plano. Hindi po kaila na marami po tayong kakaharaping hamon at hirap sa school year 2020. Ngunit sa gabay at pagtanaw ng napakalinaw na 2020 vision to uphold the best interest of the child, we will prevail together. Tayo po ay magtatagumpay alang-alang sa at kasama ang mga bata sa pagpapatupad ng kanilang karapatan sa edukasyon. Ang bata ang nasa sentro ng lahat ng ating ginagawa sa DepEd at sa edukasyon. Bata-bata, karapatan mo, tungkulin ko. Tungkulin ng bawat isa sa amin na kumakalinga sa iyo. At sa panahon ngayon, ang panawagan mo, isulong karapatan ng mga bata sa panahon ng pandemya. Sa tunay na diwa ng bayanihan, kabit-kamay po tayong lahat, nakatatanda at bata, sa pagtaguyod ng karapatan ng bata. Pagsumikapan po natin ng lubos na maranasan pa rin ng mga bata ang kaligayahan ng pagkatuto, ng pag-aaral at ng pagiging bata sa gitna ng mahirap na panahon ng pandemya. Minsan lamang po sila magiging bata. Maraming salamat po at muli magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Sa ngalan po ng inyong kagawaran ng edukasyon ng ating pong kalihim, Leonor Liling Magtolis Briones, lahat po ng bumubuo ng ating executive committee, lahat po ng ating mga undersecretaries, assistant secretaries. Ito po ang inyong pangalawang kalihim, Tony Umali, kasama po ng ating external partnership service na bumabati po sa ating Region 10 DepEd family. Pangunguna po ng ating pinakamamahal Regional Director Art Bayocot, ARD Victor De Gracia, at aking mga boss sa usapin po ng partnership, Ginoong Myron Talosig, Miss Jean Loqueliano, at lahat po ng ating mga guro, pati na rin ang hindi gurong kawani ng Region 10 at lahat po ng 14 schools division offices na bumubuo ng DepEd Region 10. Mabuhay po kayo. Binabati ko po kayo dito po sa inyong pre-launching activity ng ating school opening na gagawin na po natin sa Lunes, October 5. Ngayong araw pong ito, napakaganda nito pong ating ginagawa na aktibidad na ito, paghahanda para po sa unang araw ng pasukan sa Lunes school year 2020 to 2021. Ito pong ating pinaghihirapan, pangunguna po ng ating Ma'am Liling Briones, pagkasa nitong ating pong tinatawag na Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, pagpaplano, pagpapatupad ng various learning distance modalities nating tinatawag, pagdadala ng ating self-learning modules, pagkuha mula sa paaralan, kung hindi kakayanin, dadalhin sa barangay, kung hindi pa rin kakayanin, dadalhin sa tahanan ng ating mga anak, online or internet-based learning, radio or TV-based instruction, or pati na rin po yung ating tinatawag na homeschooling as an alternative delivery mode. Lahat po ito mula enrollment, ngayon po ilang araw na lamang, pasukan na, pagpapatupad nitong ating Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Napakahalaga po nito. Ito pong ginagawa natin para masiguro na maging mahusay at maayos ang ating unang araw ng pasukan. Sa tulong po ng hindi lamang ng ating pamilyang DepEd Region 10 family, kung hindi po ng ating mga partners sa Region 10, kasama po ang mga partners natin sa schools division offices po natin, sa lahat po ng ating mga paaralan. Tayo po ay nakasisiguro na ang ating pangarap na ang edukasyon maski sa gitna ng pandemyang ito ay maaaring magpatuloy. Muli, binabati ko po ang ating DepEd Region 10 family. Mabuhay po kayo. Ngayon pong October 5, atin pong ipagdiriwang din ang National Teachers Day, World Teachers Day. Mabuhay po ang ating gurong Filipino. Mabuhay po ang kabataang Filipino. Marami pong salamat. Sa ngalan po ng inyong kagawaran ng edukasyon ng ating pong kalihim, Leonor Liling Magtolis Briones, lahat po ng bumubuo ng ating executive committee, lahat po ng ating mga undersecretaries, assistant secretaries. Ito po ang inyong pangalawang kalihim, Tony Umali, kasama po ng ating external partnership service na bumabati po sa ating Region 10 DepEd family. Pangunguna po ng ating pinakamamahal Regional Director Art Bayocot, ARD Victor De Gracia, at aking mga boss sa usapin po ng partnership, Ginoong Myron Talosig, Miss Jean Loqueliano, at lahat po ng ating mga guro, pati na rin ang hindi gurong kawani ng Region 10 at lahat po ng 14 schools division offices na bumubuo ng DepEd Region 10. Mabuhay po kayo. Binabati ko po kayo dito po sa inyong pre-launching activity ng ating school opening na gagawin na po natin sa Lunes, October 5. Ngayong araw pong ito, napakaganda nito pong ating ginagawa na aktibidad na ito, paghahanda para po sa unang araw ng pasukan sa Lunes school year 2020 to 2021. Ito pong ating pinaghihirapan, pangunguna po ng ating Ma'am Liling Briones, pagkasa nitong ating pong tinatawag na Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, pagpaplano, pagpapatupad ng various learning distance modalities nating tinatawag, pagdadala ng ating self-learning modules, pagkuha mula sa paaralan, kung hindi kakayanin, dadalhin sa barangay, kung hindi pa rin kakayanin, dadalhin sa tahanan ng ating mga anak, online or internet-based learning, radio or TV-based instruction, or pati na rin po yung ating tinatawag na homeschooling as an alternative delivery mode. Lahat.
My warmest greetings to our regional and schools division officials, teachers, non-teaching personnel, and guests to this momentous activity. Ika nga ng matatanda, gaano man kahaba ang prosesyon, ay sa simbahan din ang tuloy. Matagal man tayo naghintay ng pagbubukas ng klase, ay abot kamay na natin ang pagbubukas ng school year 2020-2021. Tuloy ang pag-aaral ng ating mga kabataan. After months of planning and preparation, our numerous balik-eskwela activities and learning continuity plan preparations have concluded with flying colors. This would not have been possible without the splendid work of all schools division offices in your region, the entire staff of the regional office, and of course, the unwavering support of our parents, guardians, local officials, and various partners in education. Most of all, this would not have been possible without the patience and enthusiasm of our learners. Despite the changes our country has faced during this pandemic, your efforts have created an opportunity for our learners to access the quality education they deserve. Naging posible ang imposible. Naging magaan ang dating mabigat na gawain. Higit sa lahat, hindi tayo bumitaw sa tungkulin na paglingkuran ang ating mag-aral at sambayanan sa kabila ng mga pagsubok, agam-agam, pagdududa at mga batikos. The past 7 months under a state of public health emergency has changed the lives of every Filipino. Every one of us has changed. Every one of us has experienced the need to adjust to the circumstances, toughen up to the struggles, and be more patient with the changing tides. Yet, these struggles did not stop us from rising above. Our frontliners in education have been working day and night to deliver quality education in every household. We see our DepEd teachers, non-teaching personnel, parents, and other partners rising to the occasion in distributing and facilitating distance and blended learning education. Along with our partners in education, the department has adapted to the pandemic and will continue to raise our country up through education. Since the implementation of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, the department has launched various programs to address the major challenges of our community, such as health and safety, implementation of learning modalities, mental health and psychosocial support, and training of learning facilitators. Localizing all these initiatives in a span of a few months is very difficult and indeed very challenging. But your DepEd Regional Office has proven to be one of the most consistent and well-performing regions in the country. As early as August, the region was prepared to distribute over tens of millions of printed self-learning modules to learners in every household. With your contribution to the modular distance learning, over 600 million self-learning modules have now been distributed nationwide. At the same time, with the support of local officials and partners, our learners have more opportunities to supplement their learning through locally developed TV, radio, and online instruction. Finally, the region was able to produce a huge number of trained teachers and parents who are ready to facilitate distance learning for our learners. How wonderful it is to see a DepEd community that imbibes the passion for education and the strong bayanihan spirit we all aspire to have. With this, the Department of Education salutes your service to our people. Your efforts make up a big part of the department's mission to provide a bright future for our learners, even during these times. It truly takes a country to raise our learners, and I am sure that you will continue showing us what it means to raise our future Filipino leaders. We must continue to tread onward and upward for our nation, but we can only do this as one DepEd family, one DepEd community. Let us continue to keep our bayanihan spirit burning and our love for our country never ending. Mahaba man ang ating lalakbayin patungo sa landas ng dekalidad na edukasyon, mananatili sa bawat himaymay ng ating kamalayan ang paglilingkod para sa sambayanan. Kapit lang, kapwa ko lingkod bayan. Kapit lang, kapwa ko DepEd. Lahat ng ating ginagawa ay para sa kinabukasan ng ating mga anak at sa susunod pang henerasyon. Maraming salamat at mabuhay.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. As we formally open classes for school year 2020-2021, sinisiguro natin na magpapatuloy ang edukasyon sa Pilipinas even in the face of a pandemic. Nangyari na ito noon. Marami na tayong hinarap na mga krisis gaya ng matinding bagyo, baha at iba pang kalamidad. We have been challenged by conflict in Marawi, earthquakes in Davao, and eruption of Taal Volcano. Yet we made sure that education continued. Itong COVID-19 pandemic ay isa na namang krisis na dapat nating harapin ng sama-sama bilang isang bansa. As we all continue to do our best to deliver education services in the new normal, huwag tayong magpahila pababa sa mga kritisismo at negatibong pag-iisip. Rather, let us be fueled by our commitment to the nation's youth to reach them and educate them saan man sila matatagpuan through whatever means that can be made available for them. Let us all rise up to the challenges and look beyond the pandemic towards a brighter and safer future for all. Kakaiba ang school year 2020-2021. Bukod sa Oktubre ang simula natin at hindi yung usual na June opening, nasa mga bahay tayong lahat, hindi sa mga paaralan. Hindi yung dating face-to-face ang ating gagawin, yung nandun tayong lahat sa classroom, kundi bagkus ay teaching and learning at home tayong lahat gamit ang online connectivity para sa DepEd Commons, DepEd TV at DepEd Radio at yung self-learning modules o mga printed materials na dadalhin sa mga tahanan. Blended learning ang tawag natin ngayon dyan. Hindi lamang isang klase, kundi iba't ibang mga modules. Sa school year na ito, makikita nyo si ma'am at si sir. Di lamang sa mga eskwelahan tulad ng dati, makikita na rin natin sila sa DepEd TV, mapapakinggan sa DepEd Radio, makakausap sa mga online platforms at sa cellphones. Hindi lang libro ang gagamitin natin ngayon tulad ng dati, kundi mga printed modules at worksheets at mga downloadable materials sa DepEd Commons. Kaya't welcome sa school year 2020-2021. Halina't mag-aral. Mabuhay kayong lahat and may we have a safe and successful school year ahead of us.
They inspire and energize us to stay on the trail of teaching and learning. Let us hear a message from the regional office to be given to us by our regional director, Dr. Arturo B. Bayocot, CESO 3, and Dr. Victor G. Garcia Jr., CESO 5, Assistant Regional Director.
Maayong adlaw kanatong tanan. Dinhi sa amihan ng Mindanao, ang pagpadayon sa edukasyon luwas, hapsay, ug haom sa atong kasamtangang kahimtang. On October 5, we will be officially opening the school year 2020-2021. And as the opening day approaches, we are all excited, but at the same time apprehensive because of the unrelenting threats that COVID-19 poses to each one of us. That is why we in the Department of Education unceasingly conduct all our activities with utmost adherence to all the protocols prescribed by the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases and the Department of Health. We continuously facilitate health education initiatives to assure all of us that in our genuine efforts to continue education amidst the pandemic, the health and safety of our learners, teachers, officials, families, stakeholders, and the entire community are a priority. Many have doubted us, questioned us, and even mocked us about our decision to continue education in these times of pandemic, that our decisions are untimely, that we are exposing everyone to great danger, and that we will all fail. But the Department of Education, under the competent leadership of our Honorable Secretary, Leonor Magtolis Briones, is determined to pursue the future of our learners. With great optimism, hard work, and unity, we have prepared our basic education learning continuity plans to address our educational needs under the new learning landscape. Blended distance learning through the different learning delivery modalities is made available to our learners to ensure that individual needs are addressed. Even the seemingly unreached, those financially challenged, and the rest of those under difficult circumstances, our teachers have selflessly and courageously come to their needs. And we continue to explore and exhaust all other possibilities to ensure that in the delivery of quality education, in these times of education emergencies, no one will be left behind. When will this pandemic end? No one really knows. What we should realize is that this is not only about the COVID-19 pandemic. This is about any education emergencies that will haunt us along the way and how competent we are in overcoming them. This is about learning from our present experience and becoming vigilant against any challenges that will confront us from now on. This is about our learners and how committed we are in building their future. But we are Department of Education, tested by time, tested by experience. All together, we will win these battles. Sa kasalukuyan, ating alalahanin, angkop na proteksyon, patuloy na edukasyon, mabisang aksyon. Ito ang ating tugon sa mapaghamong pandemya na dulot ng COVID-19. Marami pong salamat at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
My warmest greetings to everyone in this simultaneous division launching of the opening of classes. I share the great joy of our learners that classes for school year 2020-2021 opens on October 5, 2020. At last, after so much delay due to COVID-19. We are very grateful to the parents and family members, local leaders, and all other stakeholders who gave their full support for education to continue, even and especially in this extraordinary time of the pandemic. We could have made the easier choice of just postponing schooling to another school year. But in conscience, we can never do that. It is the right of every child to have quality basic education. And it is our mission as educators to protect and promote that right at all times. That's why we do everything that it takes with all the difficulties and constraints to contend with to ensure that education continues in this unprecedented situation. The nobility of our work as educators to constantly nurture our learners is really being put into display in this difficult time. Truly, we made a difficult choice with the inspiring leadership of our beloved Secretary, the Honorable Leonor Magtoles Briones, but it was a noble and just choice. As Robert Frost would express it, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference. Let's hold on together and give our best in realizing quality education still at this trying time. Let's continue to shine in our work. May the good Lord bless us all as we formally begin learning this school year. Thank you.
Following Dr. Garcia is an inspirational message from a man who is growing strong in the seasons of life, an advocate of good leadership, igniting teachers in their pursuit of reaching their highest potential. Let us welcome our school's division superintendent, Dr. Rinaldo E. Manuel Jr.
Mayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Uban sa atong usa ka libo og 30 nga mga kawani, ang Department of Education, Division of Oroqueta City, andam sa pagtuman sa among tahas sa pagserbisyo o pagmatoto sa atong 18,640 ka mga magtutuon bisan pa man taliwala sa hulga sa COVID-19. Among nasabdan ang mga kabalaka o kahadlok sa mga ginikanan, mga kabataan o ang kinabag-ang duot sa katawan atol ni ining krisis nga atong giatubang karon. Among ipasalig diha kaninyo nga top priority o gitutukan gayod ni ini nga dibisyon ang safety o protection sa atong mga magtutudlo o mga estudyante ilabi na sa pagsugod ni ining tuig pagtungha 2020-2021. Hilabi na gayod sa panahon sa pag-deliver o pagkuha sa mga modules, self-learning materials o activity sheets, laumi ang istrikto nga pag-implementar sa mga health protocols and safety protocols diha sa ato mga tulungaan. Nanginaot usab kami nga padayon kita sa pagtuman niini nga mga protocols bisan pa man diha sa mga designated areas nga pagabutangan sa ato mga materials sa mga barangay o purok halls. Usab, ato nakitay incident command center nga abre 24/7 nga andam mo serbisyo og motubag sa mga panginahanglanon sa ato mga kawani. Busa, maghiusa kita sa ato mga paningkamot sa pagbatok sa hulga sa COVID-19. Sa makausa pa, dawata ang among mainitong pagpasalamat sa among nabating kalipay kay dinhi sa dakbayan sa Oroquita, lig-on ug makusganon ang tanan bisan pa sa mga nagkalain-laing mga sektor o stakeholders sa pagpausbaw niining gitawag nga Team Bayayungay. Tungod niini, mas madasigon pa kami sa Department of Education sa pagtuman o pagpaningkamot sa paghatag sa dekalidad nga edukasyon alang sa ato mga kabataan. Kay dinhi sa dakbayan sa Oroquita, bata ang bida.
At this point, let us adhere to some updates to be given to us by Mr. Julieto M. Indonto and Mrs. Nympha E. Magsayo as they deliver the updates on the preparations from the field. Mr. Ametancio G. Wallet, Elementary School Principal 2, and the Division Disaster Risk Reduction Management Coordinator, giving updates on the health and safety protocols. Dr. Maria Joy T. Agot on modular and blended learning. Mr. Genesio R. Liwagon Jr., SESI, for the TV radio-based instruction and online teaching. Mrs. Darlene Grace D. Armingol updates on the psychosocial support and mental health awareness preparation. Honorable City Councilor Donna R. Ion updates on LGU support group.
hinugay sa mga ginikanan. Ang walay puas na suporta sa tanang barangay officials, alumni associations at sa tanan namong mga stakeholders, inubanan sa commitment sa among mga magtutudlo. Mo'y nakapahimo namo nga andam. On behalf sa Southeast District 1, ako malipayon nga nagpahibalo kaninyo na kami ready na para sa umaabot na school year 2020-2021.
Ang Pine Central Elementary School, inubanan sa pito ka mga eskwelahan na naglangkog sa Southeast District 2. Ako ngayon na kami na maabot na pag-abli sa klase karong October 5, 2020. God bless everyone.
Maayong hapon sa tanan. Kami sa Southeast District Maingon na ready na sa pag-abli sa klase karong October 5, 2020. Malipayon ngay magpahibalo sa tanan nga ang among pagpangandam isuportahan sa mga barangay officials, stakeholders, mga magtutudlo o mga ginikanan. Ako maingon pag-usab na sa Southwest District tanan ang tinabangay para sa edukasyon sa mga kabataan. Daghang salamat ug maayong hapon.
Mayong adlaw sa tanan. As to our preparation sa mga modules, nanami sa 64% sa printing sa modules, diin 57% niya ini o 260 ka mga bata na naa sa modular, printed modular, o 2.2% niya ni gapili og digital offline. O 40% niya ni sa mga bata o 180 ka mga bata nagpili og kung sa tanan ready na among eskwelahan sa pagbukas sa klase karong October 5, 2020.
Ang pagpangandam sa umaabot nga pag-abli sa klase sa school year 2020-2021 wala mahunong o mapakang. Hinuon, nagmakusganon kini bisan sa hagit niining pandemya kay gisuportahan man sa atong barangay council ug LGU. Nadasig ang mga ginikanan ug mga kabataan kay sa stakeholders gisuportahan. Usa, sa ngalan sa mga school heads, sa mga teaching and non-teaching force sa Central District 2, malipayon kami nga magpahibalo nga andam na ang pagpahigayon sa klase sa school year 2020-2021 karong umaabot nga Oktubre 5, 2020. Dali na kay sa Oroquieta, bata ang bida.
Kay diri sa Oroquieta City Division, adunay 44 ka public elementary school nga andam na para karong umalabot na October 5, 2020. Niining bago nga school year 2020-2021, ang atong mga tulunghaan dinhi nga publiko sa atong syudad sa Oroquieta adunay mga ginahimo na mga lakang alang sa atong gipahigayon nga new normal. Tungod kay diri sa Oroquieta, bata ang bida.
Ang dibisyon sa Oroquieta City ubos sa liderato ni ESDS Rinaldo Emmanuel Jr. og inabagan ni ESDS Roberto D. Napere Jr. og tanon nga mopatuman sa mga lagda nga nalatid sa Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan ug ingon man sa mga protocol alang sa kahimsog nga gibugna sa Interagency Task Force on the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases aron magpabilin nga luwas sa COVID-19 ang tanang eskwelahan. Tungod niini, gidili gyud nga mosulod sa eskwelahan ingon man sa mga opisina ang mga naay simptomas sa COVID-19. Ingon man ang mga nag-edad ubos sa 21 anyos o 60 anyos pataas kadtong naay immunodeficiency, comorbidity ug lain pang risgo sa kahimsog o ingon man ang mga boros. Ikaduha, kinahanglan nga magsuot gyud og face mask, motunob sa foot bath, manghunaw o mugamit og alcohol, magpakuha og temperatura, musulat sa health declaration form gamit ang kaugalingong ballpen sa dili pa mosulod sa eskwelahan, classroom o opisina. Gilauman nga sa pagpatuman sa mga lagda o mga protocols, makabot nato ang musunod nga mga katuyuan. Una, increase physical and mental resilience. Ikaduha, reduce transmission. Ikatulo, reduce contact. O ang ikaupat, reduce duration of infection. Nang hinaot kami nga uhugdan pa nato ang atong pagkinabangay aron masiguro yun nato ang proteksyon sa mga tag-usa aron mapadayon nato ang magpalambo sa kahibalo sa mga kabataan tungod kay sa DepEd Division of Oroqueta, bata ang bida.
In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God through Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For the update on our modular distance learning modality, we have the printed self-learning modules of the 28 elementary schools and 10 secondary schools. For the overall level of accomplishment as to the printed self-learning modules, we have 63%, while the printed parallel activity sheets and the crafted contextualized activity sheets for a total of 16 elementary schools using the asynchronous or the tablet with the digital modules. Here are the 28 elementary schools with their level of accomplishment of the self-learning modules printing. This is our division picture of the modular distance learning modality. For the secondary printed modules, 10 out of 11 secondary schools use the printed modules, while one school, Sibukal Integrated School, is using the offline digital modules on the tablet. Here are the 10 secondary schools with their level of accomplishment. And our division picture of the secondary schools on the use of modular distance learning modality. Here are some captured photos during the actual delivery and retrieval of printed self-learning modules with the parallel activity sheets. Finally, in this new normal basic education, we need to revisit, rethink, and revise according to Director Arivalo. Thank you, and may God ever bless us all.
Good afternoon, friends, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, I'm going to share to you the updates on TV and radio-based instruction as well as online learning. This is your Kuya Dion sa Kahanginan. The Division of Oroqueta City has 47 barangays, of which 35 are having regular elementary schools, 7 regular secondary schools, and 8 integrated schools. The different efforts of the Division of Oroqueta City are under this Project Orocan, or the Oroqueta's Resilient Option for a Continuous Academic Nudge. We can remember that under Project Orocan is another major project which is called Project NOAH, or No Oroquetanon is Academically Handicapped. For TV-based instruction, Oroqueta City Division is blessed with the support of the City Government of Oroqueta, headed by the tandem of Acosta and Almonte. Oroqueta City Division was given the opportunity to air TV-based instruction materials in the Oroqueta City Community Channel. This particular channel can be viewed in the Misamis Cable, the local cable network in the province of Misamis Occidental. The TV-based instruction of Oroqueta City Division can be viewed in the channels 21 or 15. As you can see, teachers are involved in the production of the TV-based instruction materials as well as select school heads. Due to limited funds, we can see that the teachers, together with the different members of the production team, they're doing their best to make sure that the production will be made possible even with limited resources. Guided by the materials given by the regional office on this alternative delivery of basic education or RX Adobe of Region 10, the Department of Education Oroqueta City was able to produce the different materials for the TV-based instruction. Oroqueta City Division has finally recorded 10 TVBI episodes in the 10 learning areas for grade 1. We can remember that Oroqueta City has been assigned to focus on grade 1 resources in the region-based innovation, particularly on TV-based instruction. We have here screenshots of different teachers performing different roles in the TVBI. These teachers and even school heads are working hand in hand to produce the needed resources for TVBI. Interestingly, the Department of Education Oroqueta City has partnered with the Division of Tangub City for the TV-based instruction products. And Oroqueta City Division is blessed that the different resources coming from Tangub City will be shared to the Division of Oroqueta City, and this will be aired in the local Oroqueta Community Channel 15 and 21. There was this memorandum of agreement signed between the Department of Education, Tangub City, and Oroqueta City. Dr. Agostines E. Sepi welcomed the delegation from Oroqueta City headed by Dr. Rinaldo E. Manuel Jr. The memorandum signing ceremony was graced with the presence of Honorable Feliteo Almojoro, the City Council of Tangub City EDCOM Chairman. The supervisors were there. The different members of the team of the Division of Oroqueta City attended the celebration. Those are our achievements in the TV-based instruction. As we proceed to the radio-based instruction, in Oroqueta City, the learners of the different 19 schools signified that they will be availing the radio-based instruction. It started with a benchmarking activity wherein the Oroqueta City team visited Tangub City. During that visit, the Tangub City Division has already produced 15 episodes in the radio-based instruction. When we went back to the division office, there were a series of consultations, virtual meetings for the finalization of this radio-based instruction. Oroqueta City is blessed with a partner radio station such as the DXJV FM, the Muse Radio 97.7, 96.5 FM DXNT, the Brigada News FM 95.3, and the Radio 1, now the Radio Positivo 91.3. Of all the 5 radio stations in Oroqueta City, 97.7 News FM became the official partner station of the Department of Education for radio-based instruction alongside with the 96.5 FM. Various activities were conducted in these different radio stations. There were frequency tests that were conducted, and the teachers were able to determine which radio stations are having strong frequencies in their respective stations. This was made possible as well through the support of the city government of Oroqueta with the tandem Acosta and Almonte. The radio-based instruction is fully funded by the city government of Oroqueta with 90,000 pesos per month, and to be multiplied by 9 months, the city government of Oroqueta is shouldering the 810,000 pesos payment for the radio-based instruction throughout the school year. Another major achievement that the Division of Oroqueta has achieved is this provision of transistor radios courtesy of Congressman Diego Nonoite of the 1st District of Misamis Occidental. The Division of Oroqueta City has received 800 units of transistor radios, and these radios were already distributed in the different schools around the division. During the preparation stage, Oroqueta City Division has prepared all these things. In the radio-based instruction, various orientations in the different schools were conducted. There were different consultations. There were several conferences, meetings, virtual conferences, and finally there were recording and editing activities to finalize the different episodes. On online learning, the Division of Oroqueta City is adopting this learning modality. There are learners of ours who are connected with internet, and their parents signify that their learners will be availing this particular online learning modality. Teachers prepared for their learners as well as the materials that they have prepared are beneficial in the implementation of online learning. As of this time, there are 82 available and downloadable e-books for the learners and teachers to use. Of all these different achievements that the Division of Oroqueta City has achieved, May I share to you an African proverb which says, "It takes a whole village to raise a child." In the division of Oroqueta City, this particular proverb is really applicable. In our continuous efforts of providing quality education to our learners, we strongly believe sa Oroqueta, bata ang bida. Daghang salamat, maayong hapon, kanatong tanan.
There's no health without mental health. Ang mental health isa sa pinaka-importanting aspeto sa atong kinabuhi nga makaapekto sa atong panghunahuna, gibati o pamatasan. Kamusta ka? Kamusta ang imong mga higala? Sa pag-abot sa COVID-19, dako ang epekto niini sa atong kinabuhi. Nagdala kini og mga kahadlok, kabalaka, stress o kapikot. Ang maayong pagdala sa stress usa ka maayong pamaagi aron mapadayon nato ang atong pangadlaw-adlaw nga ginbuhaton. Ang Division of Oroqueta City adunay gihimo nga mga webinars, orientation mahitungod sa mental health sukad pa ni atong June 2020. Ug karong October 5 to 9 sa may alas 8 taman alas 11 sa buntag ug alas 3 taman alas 6 sa gabi ang atong 5 ka guidance counselors nagtimbayayungay para mahatag kaninyo ang radio-based mental health and psychosocial support services o MHPSS. Alang kini sa atong mga elementary o secondary learners, ginikanan, magtutudlo o non-teaching personnel. Apil sa ang atong mga learners with disabilities o out-of-school youth. Amo sabi pa ibalo ang lain-laing programa o serbisyo sa mga guidance counselor na pwede ninyo ma-avail sa tuig tulungaan 2020-2021 ubos sa new normal. Dali na! Mga kabataan, mga ginakanan o mga magtutudlo. Paminaw, pag-apil o pagkat-on sa bagong impormasyon o kasayuran mahitungod sa atong new normal nga pamuyo sa panahon sa pandemya nga may kalabutan sa atong mental health. Aron kitang tanan, linaw ang panghunahuna taliwala sa panahon sa COVID-19 sa atong lugar. Andam na ba kamo? Kamisad! Andam na!
Maayong hapon kanatong tanan. Ilabi na sa atong Department of Education Oroqueta City Division, officials and staff, sa atong mga school heads, ang atong mga magtutudlo, atong mga kabataan sa tibuok Oroqueta City. Sa atong pagpaninguha o pagpaningkamot na makahatag sa hingpit o tiunay nga kalambuan sa edukasyon sa atong mga kabataan sa tanang tulunghaan dinhi sa syudad sa Oroqueta, kami buot mopaambit kaninyo sa kinatibuk-an nga ang lokal nga kagamhanan pinaagi sa atong pinalanggang mayor, City Mayor Lemuel Merrick M. Acosta, sangguni ang panglungsod members headed by our City Vice Mayor Attorney George D. Almonte, Provincial Governor Philip Titan, sangguni ang panglalawigan members headed by Our Lady Vice Governor Aurora Virginia M. Almonte, o Department of Education Oroqueta City Division uban sa pagpangulo ni Schools Division Superintendent Reynaldo E. Manuel Jr., PhD, SESE, o Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Roberto D. Napierre Jr. nagtimbayayungay aron mahatod ug mahimo ang mga mosunod nga kalambuan. Una, nakahatag og assistance worth 810,000 para sa radio-based instruction. Ikaduha, nakahatag assistance worth 1.5 million para sa salary sa integrated school teachers gikan sa Provincial Government of Misamis Occidental. Ikatulo, nakapaambit og gadgets worth 5 million para sa instructional leaders. Ikaapat, nakahatag assistance worth 200,000 para sa television-based o radio-based instruction. Ikalima, nakahatag og tablets worth 1 million uban sa sponsorship sa provincial government. Ug ang ikaunom, nakaapod og tablets para sa special education worth 500,000 nga 200,000 niini gikan sa sangguniang kabataan ug 300,000 gikan sa LGU. Kami kinasingkasing nga mapasalamaton sa inyong madasigong pagsuporta o pagmahal sa atong mga kabataan. Kining tanan among gikalipay og dako nga taliwala sa kapitos nga atong naagian karon tungod sa pandemya. Tanan nagtinambayayungay aron bug-os kitang mopadayon sa atong mga tinguha alang sa maayo o dekalidad nga edukasyon sa mga kabataan sa atong syudad kay sa DepEd Oroquieta, bata ang bida.
Extending the chain of creativity, a message from the Federated PTA President, Mr. Alan O. Pude, and Lauren Ann Aitual, grade 5 student from Kanuanan Tribal Elementary School.
Maayong adlaw Oroquieta. Kami magginikanan sa Oroquieta ug tanon nga mosuporta karong ting bukas klase karong Oktubre 5, 2020 ug nanginaot kami nga mosuporta gayud kita mini mao kalihukan kay sa Oroquieta bata ang bida.
Kinaingon nga wala imposible sa batang ambisyoso o determinado nga makahuman og kurso. Gampya sa Salam Sigdilta, maayong buntag kanatong tanan. Ako si Lauren Ann L. Tuan, usa sa 18 ka mga kabataan nga nagtungha sa Kanuanan Tribal Elementary School, Sitio Kanuanan, Tolyoc, Oroquieta City. Ang pandemya nga atong giatubang karon nga naghatag namo og kalisod sa pagpadayon sa among pagtuon dili babag sa sama kanako nga anaa sa layong dapit sa atong syudad. Tungod kay gipasayon man sa DepEd uban sa suporta sa local government unit ang pagpadayon namo sa dekalidad ni edukasyon pinaagi sa among nadawat nga mga tablets. Nikamot ako uban sa dakong kahinawas sa pagpadayon sa akong pagskwela para makabot nako ang akong ginadamgo nga kalampusan para mahawas akong pamilya ug ang akong komunidad sa adlaw-adlaw nga kalisod nga kanunay namong gipanlimbasugan nga among malatas adlaw-adlaw sa among kinabuhi. Sasama nako nga estudyante sa tanang eskwelahan diri sa atong division, padayon ta. Ang COVID nga makapatay, usa lamang kapag sulay, mag-amping ta kanunay para ta makalikay. Aniya usab ang atong ginikanan og mga guardian aron sa paggiya kanato sa atong pagtuon sulod sa atong panimalay. Ug labaw sa tanan anaa ang Dios nga nagmahal nato sa kanunay. Busa angay magnasigay kita sa pagtuon og maningkamot sa paglampos kay ang edukasyon mauman ang atong yawi para sa mahayag nato nga kaugmaon. Mga ma'ams ug sirs, salamat sa paghimo ninyo namong mga kabataan nga kanunay bida sa DepEd Oroquieta. Salamat.
Let us listen to a message of inspiration from a woman of grace and competence whose perseverance overflows. Firm in its beliefs, despite the national pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Secretary Leonor Magtoles Briones.
On behalf of the Department of Education, and on my own, of course, on behalf also of our parents, our supporters, our officials, civic organizations, as well as individuals, our political leaders and supporters, we are truly honored and we welcome each and every one of the 24 million learners all over the country to this historic opening of classes for school year 2020 and 2021. For the past few months, our world has been filled with uncertainties as we face this unforeseen and hidden enemy. But each day brings new knowledge. Each day brings new solution. But at the same time, each day brings new challenges as well, new problems and new complications. The results and the impact of COVID-19, for example, cannot be measured only in terms of pesos and centavos. The greatest impact, of course, is on the learnings of our children, which have been postponed and which have been disrupted. We have the problem of physical distances or the quarantine as a major part of the COVID-19 containment, and it has disrupted all operations of the sectors of the economy, all sectors of the economy. In the context also of COVID-19, the concern over basic education is the magnitude of moving, congregating learners, teachers, and education personnel nationwide, because we are not only counting thousands or hundreds of thousands of people and of learners, but we count them by the millions and by the billions. And so this has been a great challenge to all of us. Basic education, as all of us know, directly accounts for nearly 30 million individuals. At this time, more than 24 million are formally enrolled, but we have the staff, we have the teachers, and we have, of course, the parents themselves, involving 61,923 schools, and not counting even the ancillary services supporting the education system, including transport, food, books, uniforms, and other services. The government right now is spending approximately 32.9 billion every month for salaries and some administrative costs, even as we are still preparing for the opening of school. And so we have not been spared from the impacts of the pandemic. Aside from the disruptive effect of pandemic on our educational system, we also need to consider the impact on the economy as well. Our enrollment from private school learners has been negatively affected, primarily because many of those who have jobs and have lost such jobs cannot support their children anymore in private schools. This has resulted in massive migration of learners from the public school, from the private schools, to the public schools, as well as migration of teachers also. And this has been a very difficult challenge for us to balance, because the Constitution provides for the provision both of public and private education as complementary to each other. But as we continue to confront the issues brought about by the pandemic, by the economy, and the varied impacts, we continue to repeat endlessly our call that no matter what happens, and I said this at the United Nations General Assembly, learning must continue and education cannot wait. Our children cannot wait. We cannot afford a delay of even 6 months to 1 year of the learning process, because we all know that the damage would be incalculable. This is why immediately after the government announced the series of community quarantines starting last March, we were instructed to close down our schools after so much debate in the cabinet, as well as among our local governments who are our major supporters. The first thing that we did when classes were closed for the last academic year was that we wanted learning to continue. And we are determined to continue the learning process, pandemic or no pandemic, disruption of the economy or no disruption at all. And so we developed the learning continuity program. We spent a few months debating among ourselves as to how we can continue the process of learning and also continue bringing in children to the fold of the educational system, even as all these disruptions were going on. And so we have these following principles. Our first consideration is to protect the health, the safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel, and prevent the further transmission of COVID-19. Our President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, has been very firm and has put this forward as his non-negotiable stance insofar as the opening of classes are concerned. Health, safety, and well-being of teachers, of learners, and of personnel. Second is to ensure continuity of learning. We all know that even 2 months, 3 months of delays in the learning process will have incalculable damage. Third, we also had to make sure or to facilitate the safe return of our learners and teachers to school when face-to-face classes will already be allowed by our president. Fourth, and this is very, very important, we want to be sensitive to equity considerations. The shift to other methodologies of learning, the shift to other approaches of transmission of learning has strong equity considerations in terms of requirements of facilities, of tools, of books, and gadgets which are necessary to facilitate such shift and change. And finally, we have to link and bridge our original pre-COVID policy of pivoting to quality, even as we decided to continue the learning process. We also are determined to hold on to our policy of educalidad or quality education. And so we agreed on the blended learning approach to the transmission of learning to our children. Blended learning is not exactly new. It's not a new invention. It's not created by this administration in the Department of Health. This has been going on for decades and has been introduced for quite some time in education. The difference is that greater emphasis now is on the blended aspect. The difference is that while blended learning always includes face-to-face sessions with the students, this time, for this particular period, we are introducing blended learning without the face-to-face component. And of course, this is a challenge for us. Therefore, we would like to express our appreciation to the 24 million learners, some of whom have been writing me and telling me, Secretary, these are the 9-year-olds, the 8-year-olds saying, Secretary, I want to go back to school. I want to be in a class again. To the parents, perhaps easily, 48 to 50 million parents who accept the fact and who are urging us to continue teaching our learners. To the government, especially our president, who promised to even scrape the bottom of the financial barrel, if only to support all our initiatives for blended learning, except face-to-face at this time. To the legislature, which is now looking very carefully at the budget of the Department of Education and finding ways to support all our efforts. To the various institutions, international, local, who have given their help, their advice, and their encouragement. To civic organizations of professionals, of concerned citizens who have nonetheless continued their tradition of giving aid to our efforts in the Department of Education. And most important of all, the parents. And even equally important, the people, the individuals in the Department of Education family, starting with our teachers who have articulated again and again that the reason why they are teaching is to serve the country, to serve the learners. The reason why they are staying is not necessarily for material reasons. They're staying because they're concerned about our learners. All of us want to continue the process of education for the sake of our learners. And we thank not only, in addition to our teachers, to our staff, we also thank our officials in the Department of Education, who for the past 6 months have been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, lacking in sleep, continually meeting, continually exchanging experiences, trying out new approaches, coming out with also many strategies, because right now there is no one size which fits all. The approach of the schools differ one from the other. And I thank all of them for coming together, for bearing with all the challenges, because our children need to be supported. And so, as we open another school year, a historic school year, a victorious school year, because in spite of all the pressures to discontinue the learning process, in spite of all the criticisms, the curses, the screams, and the shouts, 24 million learners still want to go to school. 50 million parents still want their children to go to school. And 900,000 teachers want to stay and continue teaching our learners, as well as hundreds of thousands of staff of the Department of Education who have pushed themselves to the limit during the past few months to come out with appropriate responses and solutions to these challenges. And of course, we are also consumed by fear, because who does not fear COVID? Who does not fear a double-digit downturn in the economy? But to cite a short quote from one of my very favorite books, which is June, which is coming out by Frank Herbert, which is coming out in a movie soon. The fear is there, but beyond fear itself, destiny awaits. Our destiny is an educated people, educated learners, and a great nation and country. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Maayong buntag sa tanan. We are broadcasting live from the division of Oroqueta City. And now we'll be going through some of your questions. Now you may drop your messages, comments, reactions in the chat box below. Now for curriculum and instruction, we have Mr. Francis J. Boak. For school governance and operations, Mrs. Perlinita L. Glodove. For COVID-19 health and safety protocols, we have Mr. Ametancio G. Boalat. And for learning modalities, we have Mr. Genesio R. Liwagan Jr. For administrative concerns and the opening of classes will be attended by our school's division superintendent, Dr. Rinaldo Manuel Jr., and our assistant schools division superintendent, Dr. Roberto D. Napere Jr. Okay, let's have your messages now. YouTube. Asa man mga kuan? Again, you may drop your messages, questions, and reactions in the chat box below, or they may call our hotline and our 24/7 operations center manned by Mr. Tommy Boalat. I think there are no more concerns. Okay. So let's have our acknowledgement. The Department of Education, Division of Oroqueta City, extends its heartfelt gratitude to the individuals and offices that made this endeavor possible. May the good Lord bless you a thousandfold. Honorable DepEd Secretary Leonor Magtoles Briones, Undersecretary Nepomuceno A. Malalulan, Undersecretary Annalyn M. Sevilla, Undersecretary Diosdado M. San Antonio, Undersecretary Jesus L.R. Mateo, Undersecretary Josephine G. Maribojoc, Undersecretary Tonicito M.C. Umale, Undersecretary Rev C. A. Escobedo, Undersecretary Alan Del B. Pasqua, Dr. Arturo B. Bayocot, CESO 3, Dr. Victor G. De Gracia Jr., CESO 5. Honorable Congressman Diego Nonoy C.T. Honorable Governor Philip T. Tan. Honorable City Mayor Lemuel Merrick M. Acosta. Dr. Reynaldo E. Manuel Jr. Dr. Roberto D. Napere Jr. Our CID Chief, Francis J. Buak. Our SGOD Chief, Mrs. Perlenita L. Glodove. Our Education Program Supervisors, our dear teachers, thank you so much. And to all the men and women of the DepEd family, thank you so much. Okay, we have a question here from Miss Charisma Suico, and this will be addressed by our Curriculum and Instruction Chief, Mr. Francis J. Buak. Now the question is, Mom, do we still have the AWA or AWA? Okay, can we hear from Mr. Buak?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, teachers, mga kaubang magtutudlo, kaubang Charisma Suico. Thank you very much for your concern. At the very moment, we have still the alternative working adjustment. It's still in effect. We will be waiting for further notices, information from the Department of Education or from the Civil Service or from the IETF. Teachers are still have to follow the alternative working adjustment prepared and by their respective school heads and approved by the division office. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was our CID Chief, Mr. Francis J. Buak. So I think it was already addressed, Ms. Charisma Suico. Thank you so much, ma'am. Then another question I have seen here. For your information, coming from Mrs. Luella May Tagyubon, World Teachers Day incentive benefit of 1,000 pesos has been downloaded to your teacher's account. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so I think we have no more questions. So let's have our, okay, there you go. The dreams of our learners will soar high, made possible by establishing a proper foundation, stability of curriculum and instruction, and the inner strength to stand in the growing years. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap. Once again, this is Adele D. Daron saying, para sa bata, lahat magagawa. Stay safe, stay healthy, everyone. Thank you so much, and God bless us all.
DepEd Oroqueta City, kanunay madasigon sa pagpasayon pagpadayon sa dekalidad ng edukasyon, pinaagi sa pagtimbayayungay, ubos sa liderato sa atong Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Reynaldo E. Manuel Jr., Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Roberto D. Napere Jr., CID Chief Francis J. Buak, SGD Chief Perlinita L. Glodove, uban sa 1,026 ka teaching and non-teaching personnel. Ang atong 44 kaskulahan sa elementarya ug 15 ka eskwelahan sa sekundarya andam mo serbisyo sa tibuok Division of Oroqueta City tungod ug alang sa atong kabataan. Abante, atraka. Kay sa Oroqueta, bata ang bida.
Unsa digid naa sa October 5?
Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay? Unsa di ay?
Manong kinahanglan manggib magklase karong panahon na?
Auntie, lantawa imong mga bata o. Kana sila. Aduna usab sila'y pangandoy sa kinabuhi. Kaming mga kabataan, nagdamgo ug kaayo. Dili lang para sa among kaugalingon, kundili apil na sa among mga ginikanan. Manghinaot kami nga mapadayon ang pagkabot sa among mga damgo pinaagi sa tabang sa DepEd.
Sino ba ka kung magklase karon?
Ang DepEd Oroqueta, istriktong nagpatuman sa mga health protocols para luwas ug safe ang tanang mga lakang lakip na ang pagpaabot sa lahi-lahi nga modalities.
Epektibo pa pagka na. Gadungag-dungag naman na sa mong trabahoon karon eh.
Gibuhat ang tanang pagpangandam sa atong mga teachers, school heads, division personnel lakip na sa regional ug national offices para sa sayon ug dekalidad nga edukasyon pinaagi sa lahi-lahi nga mga modalities. Online synchronous learning gamit ang lahi-lahi nga platforms connected sa internet. Pinaagi niini mapadayon ang among klase nga interactive ug participative. Nausab tay printed modules gikan sa self-learning activities, exercises ug assessment giprinta kini aron ipanghatod sa lahi-lahi nga drop-off places aron makuha sa parent o guardian para magamit namong mga kabataan. Naapoy gitawag og TVBI o RBI o TV-based and radio-based instruction gamit ang teknolohiya sa TV o radyo. Ipaabot diri ka namong mga kabataan ang creative and fun type of learning aron mapadayon ang among edukasyon. Ang mga lakang 100% suportado kini sa mga stakeholders. Ilabi na sa atong Halangdong City Mayor Lemuel Mary Acosta, Vice Mayor George T. Almonte, Education Committee Chairman Donna R. Iyog, uban pang opisyalis hangtod sa mga punong barangay, lakip na usab ang atong Governor Honorable Philip Titan, Vice Governor Aurora Virginia M. Almonte, Congressman Diego T. ug mga board members.
Ano di ay na no? May man din nga programa. Sige, akong ipa-enroll o eskwelahon ako mga bata para sa ilang kaugmaon.
Abante at traka! Kay sa Oroqueta, kaming mga bata ang bida.